Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands. Still getting over the old chest infection, but my voice is starting to come back now, so I thought I'd do a quick video on a horror remake or reimagining, whatever they're calling it now. A horror remake that I went in with low expectations on, but I actually thought was pretty good. It did quite a few things that I liked, and it surprised me. So we'll get into it. The movie in question is Hellraiser from 2022. Now I know this one does divide opinion. Some people hate it, some people did like it. As I say, on the whole, I actually quite enjoyed this one. So I might get some stick for this, but I'll go into what I did like about this Hellraiser remake. So this movie was originally released on Hulu, the streaming service, but fortunately it did get a physical media release. And this is probably most notable for gender swapping Pinhead, who in this movie is now a female representative of that Cenobite. More on her a bit later. But Hellraiser follows a young woman struggling with drug addiction, and her boyfriend, they happen upon the Lament configuration box. In fact, they steal it from a shipment that they find. And on a night where she's under the influence, she starts playing around with the box and summons the Cenobites, who initially they don't come for her. They get her brother and take him away to hell. So her and her friends are then kind of on this journey to try and face the Cenobites and make the way through the kind of the labyrinth of hell to rescue her brother. And there's also a bit of a story about this kind of weird reclusive millionaire that's trying to deal with the Cenobites, and he's got a bit of a backstory. But yeah, you have to sort of watch this one and let it unfold. So this first thing that struck me about this movie, which I liked, was the fact that it did feel like a Hellraiser film. First half an hour or so, there's a bit of nonsense with these teenagers that I didn't care for, and I really didn't think it was going to be as good a film as it was. And that's kind of been my complaint as to a lot of these sequels in the Hellraiser franchise. Most of them were made from sort of rejected scripts and failed movies and kind of cobbled together into a Frankenstein's monster style put together movie that had Hellraiser slapped on it. And the Hellraiser moments in those movies were actually pretty good, but they were very kind of shoehorned in, usually in the last scene of the film, and it just seemed like a bit of a waste. Whereas this one, pretty much from the start, you felt like you were watching a Hellraiser film. And it was really nice just to see a Hellraiser sequel that had that feeling. Very refreshing for this franchise. As I say, the characters in it, the teenage characters, I didn't think they were great. I think the movie could have benefited from some stronger characters. But as the kind of plot goes on and you get into the second half of the movie, it really ramps itself up. And you get a lot of Cenobite action, a lot of Hellraiser tropes, and some really good visuals as well. So it kind of made up for the poor characters at the start of the movie. And I really liked how they explored those Hellraiser elements a bit more in this movie. So for example, there was a lot more focus on the box and the ways of kind of trying to solve it and the different ways they tinker with it, and there were sort of stages to how it opened and what that meant for the characters and things like that, and I found that quite interesting. There's also a lot more kind of visual representation of the Cenobites and the world of hell that they exist in. So for example, the scenes where in the first original film, when the walls would open and you get that blue lighting and things would start to get a bit creepy. They did that a lot more in this film. In a lot of the sequels, the Cenobites would just walk into shot and that was it. Whereas they did get a bit more of a, a creepy build-up akin to the earlier films. And again, I appreciated that. And then there were some really good, sort of quite heavy CGI shots of kind of hell and the labyrinth place where the Cenobites hang out and things like that. So yeah, quite a lot of good Hellraiser aspects in this that I thought worked well. Now, yeah, this is a modern movie, and you can tell. I watched this with a friend of mine, and to steal a phrase from him, he did say this was very much kind of like Tokenism, the movie. There's a lot of stereotypical token characters in this film, characters of different ethnicities, different sexualities, and then a lot of gender swapping, most notably the main Cenobite in this one. And in terms of her, I didn't think she was terrible. She was okay. I think because it was a female, I didn't get the feeling that they kind of just stood her in for Doug Bradley, which worked to her benefit. But she wasn't great, and she didn't have the same presence, which no one does, after Doug Bradley. I never realised how much Doug Bradley brought to that role until I saw the sequels without him in it, and it's a glaring issue when Doug Bradley isn't in a Hellraiser film. So once again, he was sorely missed in this one, and I felt that if Doug Bradley had been in this, it would really have elevated the film, and it would have been up there with Hellraiser 1 and 2 as being an excellent Hellraiser film. But yeah, the female Cenobite, she was okay. The other Cenobites were pretty awesome. They didn't look as good as the original Cenobites, but they looked cool for what they were. And there was a Chatterer Cenobite. He was in it again. I think he even chomps on someone's arm as well. So you actually see him use the chatteriness of his appearance. And yeah, I just felt it definitely wasn't a perfect film. It suffered a bit from some modern nuances. But I can forgive a lot of it because I like how much focus they put on Hellraiser and exploring that world, and they got the Cenobites out there on screen quite a bit. Some pretty good deaths with the chains and things like that. So yeah, this wasn't the kind of an annoying disaster that I thought it would be. It was quite a pleasant surprise, and yeah, I did find this one entertaining. I'd say for me, this is probably up there after Hellraiser 3. You have the first three films, which for me are head and shoulders the best, and then I'd probably put this one after that. So yeah, not a bad movie at all, as far as I'm concerned. As I say, let me know. I know this one does divide people. I know there's a lot of people that really didn't like this. So let me know what you think of this one, guys. I'll be very interested to know where you stand on this one and whether you liked it or not. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a quick one. Hopefully you can tell what I'm saying. Yeah, just thought I'd do a quick video just to cover this one because it did take me by surprise a little bit. And there were certain aspects of this which I think worked really well. And like I say, it was just nice to see a Hellraiser sequel that felt like a Hellraiser film. We've not had that for a long time. So there we go. Like I say, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.